What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to be showing you guys how to spiral breed chickens. Come on, guys, let's get started. What is spiral breeding? Spiral breeding is the only way that you can breed chickens to minimize over a long period of time deformities, health problems, that other issues arise when you're breeding chickens. It's designed to make whatever breed you are breeding become more hardy over time without recurrences or relapses from past health problems and overall deformities. Now today we're going to be using the Rhode Island Red chicken as an example. So remember, regardless of what color you see on the screen, every chicken is a Rhode Island Red. Now spiral breeding works with whatever breed you want to use. So go ahead and grab your favorite breed and follow along. So regardless of the breed, if we wanted to start breeding chickens, we would have to source out the chickens. Now if you already have the birds at home, you're still going to have to source out the same chicken from other sources such as hatcheries or online dealers. Now the reason you would want to do this is you don't want to start out your spiral breeding program with inbred chickens or line breeding. The whole purpose of spiral breeding is to avoid all of the deformities and the bad things that come along with inbreeding in the first place. Don't get me wrong, it does have its purpose. It doesn't belong in the spiral breeding method. So now the first thing we're going to do is get us some Rhode Island Reds from a few different places, and then we're going to separate them out into small groups that we call tribes. Now the minimal you want to start out with in tribes is 4. You're going to hear a lot of people say you'll do fine with 3, and while you will do fine with 3, you'll have much more diversity with 4, and that's the minimal that most hatcheries and professionals start with. I'll explain why on the 3 a little bit later. Now let's go ahead and show you exactly what we do in a real-time situation. We would go ahead and buy 20 Rhode Island Reds from different locations, and we would take those 20 Rhode Island Red chickens and break them down into 4 different tribes. Each tribe would have its own color and also have its own pen. Now, regardless of what the amateurs tell you, your tribes are always to be separated. They're never to meet each other. They're never to stay in the same coop. They're always are supposed to be separated their entire life. I'll cover why along with some other great advice at the end of this video. Now that we have all of our tribes separated out in their own coops, what we're going to do next is wait for all of our chickens to reach maturity and a really good age to pass on great genetics for breeding. Now set your tribes up exactly the way you see it here, 1 rooster to 4 hens at least. You can have more. Now once the chickens reach that age, we'll collect a clutch of eggs from each tribe for incubation. Now remember guys, it's very important. These eggs are going to have to be separated and incubated at different times. You cannot incubate your tribe's eggs together in the same incubator. It's going to be impossible to identify the chicks separately because we're going to have the same chicken all across the board. Now, after we have successfully incubated the amount of chicks that we want from each tribe, we are going to watch each family of chicks closely. We're going to keep a lot of records on them, and we're going to compare those chicks to the parents back in their own tribe. Then as these chicks get to the same age the parents are, we're going to compare those and replace the parents in the main part of the tribe with the chicks that have become better staple versions. Now don't get confused guys, we don't replace every parent with these baby chicks. We only take the best of the baby chicks and replace the less desirable parents in the tribe. We are very, very picky because we have so much diversity. We can be. And if you'll notice, for this first time, we are only replacing hens. We are never replacing roosters with these chicks. Now, by that time, a year's already passed, and it's time to show you why we actually call it the spiral breeding method. We're going to go ahead and take each one of our roosters from each clan and switch them over into the next color position. So now as you can see, we took each one of our roosters out of their own respective coop and put them in the coop over to the right, which means our blue rooster went over to the green, our green tribe rooster went over to the purple went over to the red, and the red flipped over to the blue. And now we're going to repeat the process all over again. The only difference is the chicks that come from these tribes now, we're going to be even more picky with as we go to replace the parents in the future tribes. Now we can also replace the roosters, but we only do that from the same tribe that he come from. But we'll wait usually around 2 to 3 years to make sure that we pull out a good rooster and let them stay in their tribe respectively around 5 years, and that's about the best amount that a rooster can put off his best genetics. At that point, we'll take a chick that comes out way better than him in all categories and replace him with that chick from his tribe. Now, even though we're going to just repeat the same process all over again, you need to remember you don't have to breed these tribes every single year. Some folks wait 2 years or 3. You don't have to do it every year, but every time you do, just switch your roosters over. Be more picky about the genetics that's going back into the tribe. And as you do this, over the years, you will create a more sustainable, more hardy breed that will have less sickness in the future, less deformities, and a much more static breed, which is what most breeders want in the first place. Now, the reason why I mentioned it's not really a good idea to go with 3 tribes, a lot of people do that for room, to save on a lot of room. However, some things can happen more speedy when you have less tribes. A lot more problems arrive with having 3 tribes, and mostly the problems will be time. It's going to take a lot longer for everything to stabilize out when you have less diversity. Another big no-no that most folks can't get in their head is keeping tribes together even after the breeding is over. And they'll use multiple colored bands on all these chickens' legs to try to tell them apart when they're all stuck together in the same coop or pen. Now, this is the worst idea and the worst advice to give any homesteader. If you keep all your tribes together and you accidentally get an infection or something that could be with every other chicken in the pen, you could lose all your birds before you can get a hold on whatever it is that's affecting your flock. Therefore, if you're somebody that's raising meat birds for your family, you've just wiped out your entire generation of meat birds. Or if you're a big egg seller, you've wiped out every one of your egg layers and you have to start your generation all over again. There are so many reasons and so much more work on trying to keep up with all those leg bands that eventually dry rot off, or somebody forgets to take them off the chicken's leg and change it to a bigger size, the chicken's leg swells up and falls off. Those are true, guys, and there are all kinds of problems that will arise. It's just so much more problem keeping your chickens together. So always keep your tribe separated regardless of what people tell you. All right, guys, I'm going to shut up babbling. I hope you guys learned something. Leave us a comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, y'all keep on keeping on.